Hey everyone, Jag Taggart 93 here with another Quake map to review. Today we're looking at whirledzar's map, Adrift. It's a decent map that uses arcane dimensions with an emphasis on 360-degree combat, vertical progression, and a bit of platforming. I dig the aesthetics of this map. It looks like we're floating around in some azure temple in the middle of an endless black void. It's simple, but effective, and like I said, I like it. The platforming, where it is, it's pretty easy. The platforms are so close together that they are less platforms and more like bridges. It'd be an afterthought, really, except for the few instances of combat in these areas which spices things up a bit. If for some reason you do fall, it's no big deal, as you'll be teleported right back up. This happens just once, though. If you fall a second time, you're toast. Again, though, it's very unlikely that should happen. I'm admittedly pretty balls at first-person platforming, and even I had no problem with this part of the map. The progression, for the most part, is fine. I'm not exactly sure why the author felt the need to use a wind tunnel as an elevator would serve the same purpose. But hey, wind tunnels are old school, and I appreciate seeing them anytime I can, so good, I guess. The progression, though, grinds to a halt right after you get the silver key. When that happened, I had no idea where to go, so I backtracked, which was really annoying, all the way to the beginning of the map. It took me a while to see what I had to do. There was a silver key icon at the very start, but you actually have to look up to see it. And see, that's the thing. Quake players are a lot like dogs. We can't look up. Not at least with some environmental hint to do so. Arrows, flashing lights, something to tell us that this area is important and we need to remember it to come back to later. But yeah, it was kind of odd having to go all the way back to just this one area. And yeah, after using the silver key and dealing with the ambush, you shoot down the gold key and have to trek back again across the map. Thankfully, there was an elevator close by to get you to the second floor quickly, so that's nice, but it still feels a bit wonky having to crisscross back and forth across the map like this to use the keys. The final ambush, after using the gold key, is pretty challenging on skill 1, normal mode. You have a shambler, a few skull wizards teleport in, and upon killing the shambler, a shambler variant enters the fray, and you need to clear out this final room to safely ride the elevator up to the exit. This would be nearly an impossible feat, but you have a pillar to hide behind for cover. However, the pillar is very thin, so you need to be careful and it takes a bit of skill. So it's pretty challenging, but fair. Now if you play on skill 3, however, which is nightmare mode, there's not only slightly more enemies, but this final area is changed in one small way that makes a huge difference. And that's the pillar that you're supposed to use for cover is completely gone. This means as soon as you use the gold key, you can't run or hide from the shambler, knights, and wizards. I guess your only hope here is to pray for help from some monster infighting. Admittedly, I found this part a bit on the unfair side. It's not impossible, but you absolutely possibly need to go in with plenty of health and armor. I managed to get by just by doing just that, and I also immediately rocket jumped up to one of the ledges here, where one of the skull wizards were. From there, I quickly killed the wizard, and here I was just enough out of range for the shambler's lightning attacks. With enough ammunition, the rest of the fight was pretty easy. I'm not exactly sure if this is what the author intended the player to do, or if you're supposed to find the pentagram protection secret first, then hustle over to this final area, and then do this, but whatever. Overall, Adrift is a good map. I rate it as 6.5. I'm not entirely sure it needed to be used with arcane dimensions. I mean, it does to get the map to run, but what I mean is, I don't feel that this map really uses the most that arcane dimensions offers. I feel like you can get a pretty similar experience just using the vanilla Quake assets. Now, this was the author's first released map, and they really wanted to do it with Arcane Dimensions, so I give them credit for trying and learning and trying to, give a slightly more complex Quake map. They weren't out to make, a AAA, all super polished, top-tier 2020 map, and, that would be super ambitious, but, using Arcane Dimensions, using a map like this with its emphasis on 360-degree combat is a pretty challenging task in itself, too, and I understand that. Now, I feel like the progression was a bit wonky, and the last fight could be reworked slightly, both on Nightmare mode and normal mode too. Maybe throw in some more knights or even some more fiends in Nightmare mode for the player to kite wizard projectiles into as a means of temporary cover, in place of the absent pillar. I kind of like that idea because then it's kind of a replacement for the pillar, and it emphasizes players' skill to get out of there, as opposed to relying on, luck, really, where you're standing and how the enemies come in and how you engage them. And again, the last part is doable, but you will take some hits. It's not something you can no damage run through. I could be wrong. Let me know in the comments if someone actually did the last part on their first couple playthroughs and had no problem at all whatsoever. But anyway, I actually really enjoyed the look of this map, and I also enjoyed the attention paid to the player experience. Having an extra chance if you fall down, for example, and having a multi-level elevator to make the backtracking less tedious. And it's not bad, and that's really all I have to say about it. I hope you all are looking forward to Doom Eternal. Me, well, I'm looking forward to Doom 64, actually. I can't wait to play that on something else besides my N64. That'll be great. But you guys already know my feelings about New Doom. And I hope I'm wrong. I hope it's going to be good. I hope that they improve on the level design. And yeah, we'll see. If nothing else, the Doom Guy and Isabel memes have been amazing. Alright, and yeah, this is Jag Taggart 93 signing out. You all have a good one.